You be quiet. You're early. Actually, I was checking something and then I needed to make a picture, so it took a bit. Oh, and I don't think. Okay, yep. Hold on, it is not using the right audio device. There it goes. Okay. For some reason, it's thinking very hard, though. Yeah, so I just like literally opened this up, threw it to one frame, and said, "We're good." Yeah. Yeah, that, and I only got home like 15 minutes ago because I have to work some really long hours for this week to make up for some time I have off this week. So, I like it, Bard. That's a lot of pwn. And I also will not be streaming this Friday and probably not next Tuesday. I'm out of town this Friday, and then next Tuesday. I'm basically working like 10 to 10.5 hour days until we leave, and then we get back at 10 p.m. on Monday, and then I have to work a 10-hour day again, and I'm not going to stream after that. You can go to bed. So yeah, I'm just assuming I'm going to be exhausted because the vacation with my work is stupid. So I thought I would have enough vacation for this, but instead of having the 27 hours and I needed, I only have 10. So I have to make up 17 hours in 2 weeks. So yeah, that's thankfully next week is my off Friday. So I'm just going to put 6 of it on my off Friday. I'm spreading 1 hour each the week the Tuesday through Thursday next week. I'm putting 4 hours within 3 days extra this week, and then I work 3 hours on the previous Sunday. So that should make it fine. Not really. It's not like I'm doing manual labor. I just do desk stuff, but that just means I'm brain numb. So I already went and I picked up a coffee on the way here because I was falling asleep at my desk before I left. And yes, and hello, Jinxie. I also am planning to do a tutorial regarding something we covered last week, with the use of Gobo, namely not just how to apply a Gobo, but how to utilize them for creation of false bump maps and utilize just Gobos and negative lights in general. Like, what are some of the applications for them? So I think that would be an interesting topic to cover. I was actually planning to do it the last couple nights, but by the time I get home, I don't care as much. So, all right, but we're still. Am I done with this one yet? I think we are, or at least I can be, because they're going to be out of focus anyway. Or yeah, I don't want to bring them into focus, because to bring them into focus would be like a really sharp drop in everything. So, okay, yeah, that should be fine. Just getting the little extra details here. I'm actually going to put the tail lower. Yeah, I need to animate me too. Well, in terms of these two. Normally I wouldn't do this kind of refinement right away, but it's easy. Oh, this is Giggle. And I'm like, who laughed? I was confused. Probably before she goes up. Yeah, Michael does like the creepy stuff. That butt definitely is extra wobbly. You know, like, I'm okay with some of the stuff being wobbly. Like, watch the ears, though. Like, that's just the natural... So it's stabilized now. That end part is how they naturally think that they should jiggle. They're like gelatin. That's... I don't understand that. I think these ears... Yeah, these ones are locked. When those are set up, they were set to be too elastic. They should definitely be a lot stronger or harder, especially the butt. Like, why is it like a water bed? I am happy, thank you. Interesting. I mean, this is completely off topic, but thinking about that. They have where they call when a word is spelt the same, or when a word is spelt the same backwards. There's a word. What was that again called? It's gonna bug me that I can't remember the word for it. It's not word. A palindrome. So it's called a palindrome, but there are some words when spelt backwards make a different word, and so those are actually have a name too, and they are called a Mornalap. And the reason it is because it's palindrome spelled backwards. So a palindrome Mornalap is backwards is also a palindrome Mornalap. it's funny because it's by putting them together they actually say what they are, and by reversing it still fits. It's something I learned recently. It's just funny. But it's an actual word. Yeah, they are sometimes referred to as a reverse pair. So, funny things in English is a fanciful invention. That's about the best description I could go to, or give it as well. But I don't know how you spell Immortalap. It sounds like it sounds like maybe like a bad guy in Yu-Gi-Oh! Or like an Egyptian god. The Pharaoh of Mornalap. Oh, yeah, Pokemon too. Yeah, I want a shiny Mornalap. I can't even say, even when I said it 100 times, I still can't say it. Maybe that's why it's harder. Okay, her eyes are opening late. They need to be pulled in a bit. Probably should be even a little bit more. I need to give her a different face here because I want to do it like the sideways like smirk like, but you can't do it from that angle. So so probably just gonna do a tight mouth pucker. Maybe that doesn't work so well. I think Ka is about the only one I can think of that would do the look I was going for, but I'll keep that for now. I think it's just maybe less sad face look. I think that'll work. She's out of focus again, so who cares? I see they're open really quick. That's not the... Oh, I don't want to do... Oh no, I had it right. Oh. That might be one of the reasons too. Why is it going too fast? Hello.
Hello.
I think I left your box on the trash.
And a box. Put it on the trash.
I don't think I grabbed it off the trash. It's a good place for it. I had a lot of stuff I was carrying it, so it's probably good. You can just keep it there.
I'm gonna get it.
No, just keep it there. Trash goes out tonight. He building a new computer, so. So yeah, he's been getting parts randomly. But all his parts are showing up right before he leaves, so can't do anything about it. Realize that with the shot, super bright, nothing. That one's so bright. I understand the light's probably needed for the shadow and everything, but I can do this better. Good stuff.
This is the part you'd be proud of me about.
You actually upgraded to Windows 8.
10.
Why not Windows 8?
Windows 8 was garbage.
Yeah, I know.
If it wasn't for the fact that Windows 7's about ready to lose support, I'd probably still be using that.
Well, I think Windows 10 is fine in terms of usability, but it took me a little bit to get used to, but thankfully for all my jobs and everything, I'm always using Windows 10, so.
There's nothing wrong with 7, but, you know.
Its infrastructure didn't handle current technology.
They just stopped supporting the new technology. It's not that it couldn't handle it.
When you completely build something all the way down to like the machine code to do certain things, you can't just like tell it, no, we don't do that anymore. We're gonna go do this. You have to kind of, you can't just keep upgrading the same operating system over and over again, or you have backwards compatibility issues and all these other problems.
I don't think there was a significant change in the build between 7 and 10. I think 10 just has a lot of the extra doodads.
Well, like Windows 7, the multi-monitor support is abysmal. Like the fact I have two of these is a separate program I had to use to run Windows 7 correctly. Because like I right now have it where it only shows the programs per window. That didn't work very well. You can't do scaling on Windows 7.
I do it all the time.
Like the different scaling per monitor.
Mm-hmm. I always had my TV and monitor hooked up at the same time.
But
one
different
was DVI and one was HDMI.
Different scales.
Yeah.
So this one is 100% and that was 200%?
Oh no, I would have like different resolutions.
No, different resolutions, different scaling.
Why would I have scaled them different?
Because if I have my TV running at 100% scale, I wouldn't be able to read the text even if I was standing right by it.
I never tried, so...
No, it doesn't. That was one of the things that when I went to 2K and 1080, came in handy for scaling. No, there's Windows 10 just has more functions and stuff that works better with current technologies. Well, 7 was not able to handle a lot of it.
One of the reasons I got 10 is because a lot of things are going toward 10, so I need to familiarize myself with 10 more.
Well, you can't even.
And my work computer's 10.
Go. Yeah, but you can't even. You can't even run a lot of graphics cards and stuff nowadays without. I bet you your graphics card requires 10.
Like some things would say they require a system, but you can get it to run on different drivers. As long as it's like, you definitely can't get a 32-bit run with 60.
I tried doing that once. I got a laptop.
Yeah.
I reinstalled it. I changed the operating system on it. No drivers existed for the current operating system, so I was never able to get the graphics to run unless I wanted to run the whole thing on 640 by whatever resolution from forever. So I had to go and install the original operating system. Some drivers, it's not just, oh yeah, no, that's fine, just download that. No.
Done it.
Then why didn't you?
Because I need to familiarize myself with 10.
Yeah. It was the same. It was the same discussion with XP when XP went to Vista.
Well, this still was crap.
Yeah, it's every other. That's how it always works. I think 10 actually works pretty good. I've had no problems with it so far.
I think 10 isn't a complete piece of garbage like 8 was, but I still don't see it as a major improvement over 7. Like, 7 was a huge improvement over XP. And like XP was a huge improvement over 98. I just don't see 10 as being a huge improvement over 7. I think they're going to stop supporting it, and that includes drivers and stuff like you were saying, so it's just inevitable you have to switch if you want to keep using your hardware.
My most current hardware.
Yeah.
Did you even check? Because like my graphics card, I couldn't even get it to run without Windows 7. That's why I got not 7, without Windows 10. That's why I went to 10. Or at least maybe you can go to 8.
I mean, it might say on there it requires Windows 10, but that doesn't.
Where do you get the drivers then?
You just download the 64-bit drivers for Windows 7. And 9 out of 10 times they'll work.
But for what graphics card? For what?
For your current graphics card.
No, I'm saying you just said Windows 7, but they don't have the drivers for Windows 7.
Oh, well, if they don't at least have a 64-bit compatible driver, then you're screwed.
Well, 64-bit, but you download Windows 10 driver for Windows 7?
Yeah. No, well, you would download the Windows 7 driver.
But that's the thing, is it doesn't have a Windows 7 driver.
See, that's the issue.
That's what I said, and you're like, no, you just download the driver.
The other way. I thought you were saying...
I'm like, what if it only does Windows 10? You're like, oh, you just download the Windows 7 driver. No, it doesn't exist!
It probably wouldn't work the other way around now.
No.
But that's just an issue of them not supporting it anymore, because this exists. That doesn't mean that 10 is better. That just means they stopped supporting 7.
Remember that I have an IT degree and you don't?
Yes, I do.
You have an electronic engineering degree.
Yeah, that's IT.
You program?
Yeah, well, yeah.
C++ and all that stuff?
Logic controllers.
That's the step, like 4 steps down. That's not how... No, it's... Come on.
It's still an IT degree.
Well, yeah, so you're looking at it from a machine code perspective where, yeah, you're going to be like, it's zeros and ones, they all work the same. That's not how this works.
It's all zeros and ones at the end of the day, man.
But it's not what the computer sees. The computer Well, how many levels of abstraction is Windows running at? Is it 3 from machine code? I think it's 3 or 4. No, I think it might be 4. Apparently, according to Blurred, they giggle.
The butts giggle?
They giggle.
And they fart? Is that butt giggling just farts?
See, it's...
I can see it.
You see? He says, Tal's missing the giggle. He's gone, be upset.
I think the first thing I'm going to do with this operating system is strip out all the garbage.
What garbage?
All the, like, doodads that are completely useless.
That's an OEM, isn't it?
What?
The version?
Yeah, it's
No, OEM? It's a System Builder's version?
No, this is home. OEI.
Well, home is not the same as OE.
Well, it's not like the ultimate version of those.
No, that's not the same thing. It's a system builder's version, right? So it's the one it's standalone, not tied to anything else, because it should say it. Because if it's that, then there's no bloatware on there at all anyway. That's one thing I hate about pre-builds is pre-builds have just all that other shit that comes on there, and like you can't get rid of any of it. My laptop has that.
I'm sure you can get rid of it. You just go through several hoops to do it.
It's you have to go into the registry to turn that crap off, and that's just annoying. And if you ever, those versions are much better.
I mean, when every time I saw Windows 10, there was always like ads for Minecraft and crap in the start menu. And I'm like, that's one reason not to want to get that. To me.
Yeah, because that was on my laptop when I went into like this thing. It had Minecraft and recommendations for all this stuff, and I had to completely erase it all, and all that crap's still in the background. I uninstalled what I could.
I hate that the search bar isn't there anymore. Does that search the internet or your computer?
Computer.
Well, there we go. Good.
There was the search pops up down here by default.
Oh, you have
there.
it hidden.
Yeah, I have it hidden because I like having an empty bar, but Windows S opens up your search, so I don't need it there. I just hit Windows S. It's the same reason, like, I don't even really need this icon anymore, other than I like having it second in line, because if Windows E just opens up a window too. So, but no.
I just liked clicking on the start menu and boom, there was the search bar.
But you don't even have to click, you just do that.
Wasn't it touching the keyboard?
You have to type the search in!
After the fact! Hi, Scope.
Hello, Scope. There's probably a way to still put it on here, and I think you can actually.
I'm gonna be in my room learning Windows 10, so I can make it as close to Windows 7 as possible.
No, I'm pretty sure you can actually set up your start menu to act more like the older start menus too.
I'm sure there's probably like a whole list of things you can do and programs you can download. I think that was the first thing I had to do for my grandparents when they had a computer with Windows 8. I found a program to change the layout to be very similar to Windows XP because that's what they were used to.
It's in there somewhere. Well, actually, here we go. Start. Let's start settings.
I'll fool around with it.
Yeah.
I got my parts a day early, so I might actually put it together tonight.
No.
I mean, no.
Because if something goes wrong, then you're going to spend the whole weekend angry about it.
It's not going to stop.
At least then you can be disappointed when you can get it fixed. Well, I guess actually if something's wrong, then you can order any replacements or anything and handle that before you leave. That's not a bad thing, I guess.
Oh yeah, it says OEM right there. I always just thought OEM was just a general term for operating system, but I guess...
No, I can't remember...
I don't know what the abbreviation stands for.
Oop, that's the wrong button.
So when you were asking, is it an OEM, I was just like, it's Windows.
Original equipment manufacturer.
Okay.
So, an organization that makes devices for components bought from...
Is this on disk?
Other organizations.
What is this on?
But essentially, it's just me. I always call it the system builder's version.
Disk. Okay. I know for the longest time they weren't doing it on disk. They were like loading it on the USB drives.
I kind of wish I would have done USB drive. They're usually a little cheaper, and then you don't need a CD drive.
Well, my computer's gonna have one.
Yeah. Well, I guess you're getting the that stuff anyway. But no, I have a drive, but it's just the cheapest, crappiest, old, like loudest thing possible.
Is it Blu-ray?
No.
No, it's not. Blu-ray.
No, it's CD-ROM.
It's DVD-ROM.
Oh, is it? Okay, at least I went that far. No, it's a DVD-ROM, but it's not even plugged in right now.
I was gonna say, if it was just CD-ROM, like, did you find that from 1998? What the heck?
No, it's I don't even have it plugged in. What's the point of having it plugged in?
Just in case you want to watch a movie. That's why I got my Blu-ray player.
If I want to watch a movie, I got a TV right there.
Maybe you don't want to turn on the big TV.
No, if the big TV. No, if I want to watch a movie, I would always just go to the couch and stream, like download it. I'd rent it. I don't really. I have a PlayStation 4 over there. I just put it in there.
I don't think CD drive. I don't think we're far enough into the future yet to completely phase CD drive. Like it's kind of getting to the point where it's the equivalent of the A drive in like the '90s, where it was started going on its way out, but it was still around. I'd say the CD-ROM drive is on its way out, but it's still got a few years left.
I think on computers, I can see use in Blu-ray for like multimedia systems, but like a disk drive at all is not needed anymore.
It's not needed, but it's still something worth having.
Talked regarding M.2. Talk to Kyle or look up information regarding how to get Windows 10 to detect an M.2.
I'm sure I'll get it.
Kyle spent like 2 hours because he had no clue how to do it.
Kyle's Kyle.
I know, but he might be able to give you more insight. So you
If
don't
I have trouble.
Well, what? Or you can just ask him and he can give you the info.
Why would I ask him before I've had any trouble?
Because he could, maybe he gives you information you don't need, or he'll save you a couple hours.
I don't.
Also, was your phone dead today?
No, I forgot it.
I thought so. I texted you.
What'd you text me?
Information on, like, I had questions and stuff, and then I didn't get a response. So.
It's because I died.
Well,
Or I forgot my phone.
Again, if you're going to die, I'm going to ask you ahead of time
For the rent that month.
That you put me in your will.
Oh.
Yeah, I love M.2s. I don't think that they're needed for every little bit of a computer. I mean, if you can, great. But
cheaper.
yeah, when they dropped a lot this last year. You got twice the space for. I mean, it's a.
Well, it was $100 a terabyte.
Yeah, and mine was. I think for 1 terabyte I paid $220.
Yeah,
but it's
like
for.
half that now.
Yeah, well, that was for a Samsung 970 too. So it was a faster variant of it. So it was a more expensive brand, but they're highly rated. But no, I think that SSDs are still fine because I don't. For gaming, M.2 is the way to go. But just make sure it's the type of shares data sec. Nothing's. Let's do a set of port. Actually, no, I didn't even check.
Yeah, I got 3 terabytes.
M.2.
Yeah,
I think mine's a 9. I don't think it's a 960. I'm pretty sure it's a 9. Can't I look that up?
you can look anything up. It's the internet.
No, but not on like that, like the computer.
It's the end of your computer.
I thought you can. Where was? I thought there was Windows like R. No, not Windows R. What was the shortcut key? That's going to bug me for going and seeing your system information.
Oh, just go to my computer or whatever.
No, there was a Windows key cut. Like Windows J. I'm gonna hit
right
something.
Click. Just click system. It's right there.
Huh?
Usually I would just go to the computer icon, right click the shows.
You know, but now you got to get used to this, Michael.
I'm gonna figure out 10.
This is the future, Michael.
This isn't the future. This is the now. The future is gonna be something else, and
Oh,
I
there.
have to learn it all over again.
There about. Okay. Oh, that's not gonna say that though. That's fine. I'll worry about it
This is
later.
my new baby.
Oh, maybe is it here?
I'm gonna caress it.
Can you please do that in private?
No.
No, I'm pretty sure it's a 970. I think actually 960 is an SSD. I think. I don't think it's that too. I can't remember. I know that, or is 960 is whatever. But
It's $500.
for the processor.
Yeah. But it comes with the heatsink.
Yeah, that I would just have to see. I'm never a fan of stock heat sinks.
I mean, yeah, I have to agree. But I wanted to see how this one did before I went out and got a different one because it comes with it.
Mine didn't, so I had to. But yeah, I mean, might as well just give it a shot. And if you don't care about like a siren going off in your computer,
Well, if it's that, then I'll swap it out for a different one. But I'm hoping that won't be the case. It looks like it's fairly large.
Yeah, it's AMD.
Yes, it is. It's a...
With the let's give them the serial number and everything.
What would they do with it?
It's a 3900X, 12 core, 3.8. Ooh, but it's got max boost.
Max boost.
What is max boost?
I don't know. It's something silly, I'm sure. It's probably some overclocking program that I'll never use because I don't want to damage my processor.
No, it's probably when it needs it, it uses it and then turns it down.
It is pretty good. It costs $500. It's like a fourth of the entire computer cost right there.
Well, most of your money is going to be spent on your graphics card and your processor almost always. Though seeing some of the stupid costs that come with some of the other stuff, like motherboards, get stupid expensive if you want them to be. That's pretty cool, though.
I ended up getting a friend of mine a CPU cooler that looked like it was made of that like yellow plastic from like the 90s that everything was made out of. Like super, it looked like it was super old, but at the same time it was super easy. Oh, I was trying to show us this cool thing.
Oh!
That's the same one! That's the one I bought my friend. No, the one I bought my friend's dual radiator, that's single. But it was pretty much looked exactly the same.
Hold on.
Those work though. They're well rated.
I need to go back for something here.
It was the only one that was capable of cooling my friend's processor that was not liquid cooling. So yeah, those are decent.
Oh no, I didn't get it on Amazon. No, I think that is actually the exact one I have. I can't remember NFF12. I swear that's the one I have because I have a Noctua, whatever. Because I wanted something that was quiet, and they are highly rated for being quiet.
I mean, yeah,
hello, Shadow King.
That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, it's in there. They're not even that expensive. Like this one's it's $60, which is to me above average, but not by that much. But it's under load, and it's still just.
Yeah. Well, that's like I was saying. I got the dual radiator version from my friend over in England. They're good heat sinks.
They
look like they came out of like the 90s or 80s, but
I like how they're not screwed in; they're clipped on the side, and so you can just buy the fans on their own. And they look just the same, and you can just put another one on the back if you want. I just never saw a need, but no, I swear this is the NHU 12. I swear this is exactly. Oh, they come in black now. Oh, they do. No,
I like it as much.
No, yeah, you got to get the other one, and that's more expensive.
You lose the cool like 80s computer.
Yeah, I love it. I love it for that. It's
It's like it came out of an Atari.
I can understand if you're going for an aesthetic. You want to have something match. But yeah, their stuff is fantastic. And you can get this at Micro Center.
Yeah.
And they'll price match anyway. So that's where I think I bought almost all my parts there. That's why I was like, yeah, actually I can't look it up. Unless it was, do I still have my wish list available from I can't remember how the hell you get the wish lists on here. Tell me what it is that I want to buy. Amazon, I thought you were smart enough.
Yeah, I'm building a new computer because I want to play Alex when it comes out. That's the only reason.
I can't remember how you get to it. That's fine. But yeah, it is the Just show my real name. I don't care. Do you think I go to conventions and I haven't had my real name shown?
My name is Pete.
Pete. But hello, Clumsy. But no, yeah, I love that heatsink. No, it doesn't bug me. Okay, I am too delayed.
Somebody just should come to a convention and be like, "Hey, Pete," and he's gonna have a big stupid smile on my face.
I wonder if I want to have myself be like I am just delayed. Whoop.
What does that look? The look that freaking Barry Punch over here is giving. It's like at the eyes.
No, it's supposed to be sarcastic, like huh, or that's a sarcastic eyebrow, but its purpose is like I'm sick of this goddamn town and all the weird shit that happens here. Yeah, this shit again. That's what I was looking for.
That's why she drinks. She's a heavy drinker.
So I'm gonna keep myself with that. I think I'm going to have it be. I just want to have a much smaller reaction because I want to have. I want to be subtle because if I put too much work into him, it's going to pull the attention when I want the attention to be amongst these two. Oh, okay, if I go head that direction, that gets confusing. So I think. Oh, this needs to be gone too.
She is. When strange things happen, her butt wobbles, so just never stops.
I'm surprised not in every episode. It's just in the background.
It's like her pinky sense, but it's just her butt. It's like something's coming. I can feel it in my butt.
My booty foretold. Would you like your booty fortune?
Yes, please.
I don't even think that's gonna work.
The grapes are trying to escape.
Because I think I don't want to have me be that surprised at all. I want to put some motion in so I'm not just standing still. My butt sense. Tushy Taro.
Who's that now?
It reminds me of when we were trying to come up with alternations to Warhorse's name.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fun. Because we called him Warehouse for a while, but there was how can you change his name to still be the same?
Yeah.
So we got Warhorse. My favorite was Battalion Stallion. I can't remember some of the others. That was always one I remember. The Battalion Stallion. So I think let's just have him. Because I really don't want to fully animate or anything. I'm just gonna have him tilt his head this way after a second. Actually, I don't even have to worry about the legs, so I'm just gonna go lazy animate. Yeah. Oh, well. Okay, I probably should fix the legs though. Oh. Maybe not. Okay, that works.
I don't actually know what processor. You use AMD?
Intel.
Really?
I'm using 9700K, I believe. I had AMD a while back, but at that point AMD wasn't that great, so it kind of gave me a bad taste in my mouth. So I went to Intel for my next one, and I've just stuck with them since.
I don't think I've ever built a computer that was not AMD.
No, they're pretty good now. Actually, if anything, they're about on par with Intel. Really depends on what you're looking to get out of it, but for most gamers, AMD is just perfectly fine. I still think Intel is better on some things, but it's a lot more like business side or high-end processing stuff that is probably nothing I need to worry about.
Intel makes good processors.
Yeah, they just tend to be a little pricier.
Yeah, right there.
Eating a second apple.
Hungry.
There's other food in there.
It's not supper time yet.
You're gonna be full before supper.
Full of apples. As a horse, would be okay with that. Rainbow Dash.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't know. After that season finale, she's full of apples now.
Oh my.
No.
Gross.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. That they had. Oh, I forgot the name of it, but yeah, there was some. There was the. There was the data leak, and there was some other exploits. There was like 2 exploits that was found, but it was like a certain. Most of them got patched, but still, I can see the concern. Also, I kind of had, or one of the reasons I kind of liked Intel too was during the recession, I bought a bunch of their stock, and I made like 200%. So.
Now, my primary issue with Intel is they make good stuff, but their price points are abysmal.
Yeah, I don't remember what I paid for mine, but I know I bought it once it was on the market for a while.
I think my only concern is nobody can really compete with AMD or Intel anymore.
Well, that's the way it is with almost anything electronic now, like or all the big stuff, like graphics cards.
Yeah, it's pretty much just NVIDIA and
Though there's lots of people
ATI.
that and AMD and Intel manufacture their own thing. Well, NVIDIA and ATI, they
ATI's owned by AMD.
yeah,
They're the same company.
but and I thought Intel owns NVIDIA too. I thought they
They're
did.
their own company. I thought they did too for a long time. But
But NVIDIA and ATI don't they do manufacture their own stuff, but other people make the graphics cards. But it's all still licensed, and I'm guessing they also control the price to make sure that they don't devalue. Well, I had ATI for ATI AMD stuff before, and I swapped because I didn't like the support that ATI cards had at the time. They were pretty poor, so I decided to swap to NVIDIA, and I like Shadow Play and a lot of that functionality that it adds.
I used to be a big ATI fan, but my current computer has an ATI graphics card, but this time around I went with NVIDIA. I don't really have a loyalty to one or the other. I just check benchmarking and price and see what the best card is for the money.
Yeah, their prices are comparable. So,
ATI and NVIDIA. Yeah, they're a lot easier to match up on price than Intel and AMD. Intel is definitely more expensive. Every time I look at it.
Oh yeah, but Intel is, to me, it's more powerful per core, but AMD has more cores. So if you need, it depends on whether you need a single powerful core or you need just straight power in general or multi-core. So some things are better than others, but for most of the stuff that I'd be doing, it probably doesn't mean shit.
I'd say Intel has the market on server processors.
Well, yeah, they're business focused.
Yeah.
Businesses almost are all Intel. I think I can call that good. Is that camera?
It's got to bake those buns.
Well, I let all the clouds.
Too bad I'm too busy looking at those buns.
Oh, like they're moving and then
They stop.
well, this one does. This one keeps moving.
I don't know. Still think AMD makes the best processors for the money. So.
For the money, yeah.
Yeah. And ATI cards aren't bad. I saw some decent ones I did consider, but NVIDIA just won it out for me this time. I think I considered like 5 cards, and 4 of them were NVIDIA and 1 was ATI. But, yeah.
I think this needs to be dragged a lot longer. Okay, and now that cloud. So why are you stopping? You should keep going. Is that going to be too slow though?
This one has 24.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
That's a lot. Really though, with a server processor, you want a lot of cores, but you don't necessarily need a whole lot of processing power. You can get like a 13 or like a 16 core processor that's running at like 2.5 gigahertz. It's the kind of thing you want for a server.
It depends again what the server's running.
Generally, they tend to be running a lot of processes simultaneously. A lot of small processes.
It kind of depends on the server.
I suppose.
If you're doing a server farm for rendering video, it depends. I'm not an expert on that stuff, but Intel tends to be the ones that are used for that, and they tend to be fewer cores with multi-threading or hyper-threading. Though I think they dropped hyper-threading in their 9-7 series.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of a dated tech at this point.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, it had its problems. It was interesting though, because like how when a processing would go up, how it would be using like all the odd cores and yeah, I think 9900 does. I have the 9700, so I'm the level below that. To me, the 9900 was more powerful than the 9700, but the cost difference was enormous. It was like $400 or $500 more just for that. I'm like, no.
As long as this thing plays Alex, I will be happy.
No, it'll be fine. No, that thing will be great.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad graphic, or not a bad processor. It's a good processor.
I just need the freaking headset that I can't seem to get.
Like, I warned you.
Gabe, no, I want to spend money on you. I'm gonna spend money for throwing.
I told you they're running low, and you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna wait."
I wanted to wait till after the holidays. I wanted to
Well,
take care of
nobody
all
else
stuff.
did.
Yeah, I noticed.
I knew it was gonna happen.
I want my
It's like-
index.
Like once a week, they were increasing it by a month, and you're like, "Oh, I'll be fine. I'll just wait 4 more weeks."
Can't they just find Gabe Newell, throw money at him, and go give me things?
If you're looking specifically to get that, I'm guessing it's gonna be summer.
I'm kind of looking specifically at that one.
Yeah.
No, there's already.
You know what I'm gonna do?
online.
I'm gonna set it up, and then I'm gonna be playing it, and then you're gonna be like, "Can I play?" I'm like, "No. Get your own."
No. I want the index with the individual finger controls.
For that, you spend $100 more so that one thing would work.
How else am I gonna flip off the combine, man?
You could get a Vive and use it, and then buy the controllers when they come out, and it'd still be less than an
Well,
index.
whichever comes out first. If the controllers come out, but I can't get the whole index, I'll consider just getting the controllers.
But
But I gotta
that's what's
flip
gonna
off
happen.
the combine. They deserve it. They're jerks. They did bad stuff like 12 years ago. 'Cause the last game came out so long ago. It's been a while. I feel like they could have called it Half-Life 3 if they really had wanted to. But they chose not to, just to mess with people.
Okay, what is with this here? It's like...
I think my current
Floating.
processor only has 8 cores.
I guess that doesn't work. It wasn't floating before.
I still remember in college is about the time you started getting processors with more than 1 core.
My first processor was a quad core, and that was when quad core was a brand new thing.
The first one you built, or
Yeah.
the first?
Because before then it was either get a dual core that you can overclock the crap out of, because the dual cores back then were like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna overclock it by 2 gigahertz and whatever.
Well, that's what people were doing with the Pentium 4s, because the Pentium 4, the entire PC community while I was in college pretty much was stuck on the Pentium 4 for the longest time. That was the processor.
Because it was overclocked the hell out of it.
Well, that's what people did. It stopped being about the next best processor and started being about the next best cooling system for the Pentium 4. And people would just overclock it way, way past what it was supposed to be. And that's kind of when liquid cooling started becoming a thing. And I kind of still owe the fact that liquid cooling is a thing to the Pentium 4 era. When people were really pushing...
Error?
Yeah.
Era.
Era. Yes. Sorry.
It was when they messed up.
Era. But, Yeah, the Pentium 4 days were interesting. We all were stuck on that thing for, I think it was a few years. That's what people were just using, nothing else. And for one processor to be the top processor for that long, you don't see that anymore.
I'm pretty sure there was a lot of people using other processors that want to stay up to date, and
they weren't. The thing, it was before people figured out dual core processing. We had hyperthreading, and that was new to the Pentium 4, so they kind of acted like two processors, but it was still just one core. So people were just trying to take that one core and go nuts with it. It's like when things moved on from the Pentium 4, that's when you started seeing like the dual core and the quad cores.
I remember when like multi-GPU came out originally and nothing supported it, and then things started supporting it, and then like, oh, why did we do this? This is and they all backed off from it.
Yeah, I mean, systems still supported it. Most motherboards still let you plug your two GPUs. But...
Yeah, and at 30 sure it'd still give you a boost, but it's not going to be optimized for it. It's because a lot of them would do like one graphics card would do this, while the other one would do this. But now it's probably just let's just split it all evenly. It's not optimized like they were working towards. But it was also just trying to promote people to buy lots and lots of graphics cards. Just seems counterproductive to your business model.
I remember I started seeing motherboards that actually took two CPUs for a little bit. I'm not really sure how that worked out. Not well.
Well, there was just an issue with for a while where couldn't keep up with Moore's law, when everything can't get smaller, so they just started putting more of it.
Technology is getting smaller, but the PCs are getting bigger.
Well, now we're at a point where quantum computing is about the best we're gonna do, or where the speed of light is a concern, because you're processing things so fast that getting the information in there is a difficult thing. The length of the cable can change things.
Yeah. I don't know. There will be a brick wall we will hit.
I don't think we've
gotten anywhere close to it. At least not on the public scale.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure we're not following Moore's law anymore. Like, because that was, I think, every 16 or 18 months, and I'm pretty sure we've fallen behind on that. But I don't know. Maybe we have been keeping up with it still.
I mean, at a certain point, there's going to be like just the physical limitations of what this technology is capable.
Well, that's why quantum computing's.
I feel like we're still ways off from that.
Google's making strides, but in terms of personal computing, no. It's one thing if you're just making it faster, processing zeros and ones, but then you go and throw a 2 in there. It's gonna you can't just go and plug a new or anything else up to it. It's like going from 32 to 64-bit. That redid everything.
Well, yeah. I'm sure if it was viable, like reliable and affordable, I think the world would change.
It'll be a while. But no, to me, what that's going to do is if you can make it work in this, I mean, you can start getting like this in microchips, like teeny tiny. So I'm curious to see how that goes. But it is the future to me.
I think the most exciting thing in future technology for me that we'll probably see in our lifetime is fusion. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't expect quantum computing in my lifetime, at least not on a public scale.
I see it happening. Probably.
So,
when you were born, what was computers?
Probably not much, but
I was born, hard drives didn't even exist. We were using 5.5-inch floppy disks. So I don't even think 5.5 it was a thing. So you think 30 years, and then 30 years from now?
I feel like all the technology already exists when I was born. They've just been perfecting it. Like, there was always there's since I was born at least, there's been memory that's been held the same way the M.2s are holding it now. They've just made it faster and smaller and better.
Well, they haven't changed the zeros and ones, no,
Yeah.
but...
And well, like, the way the memory is stored is relatively the same too. They've just been improving on old ideas and improving and improving and improving. Quantum computing is a whole new level.
But they've
barely scratched the surface of.
But they've been working on it for years and years, so...
Yeah.
Like, Google just had that recent thing. They recently made a computer that they gave a certain... It was a quantum computer that they gave... It was essentially a nothing algorithm, but it was supposed to be something that was just immensely complex, and it solved it in billions of times faster than a normal computer. Like, it was to where it was supposed to take a normal computer like 1,000 years or something like that, and it took it like 40 seconds. I can't remember the numbers, but it was stupid fast.
I thought I heard the main issue with quantum computers is that they're unstable.
Well, yeah, that's called improvement. I'm pretty sure all the original computers were unstable when they started too. They'll get there.
I hope so. That would be nice. I just want that jack you can plug into the side of your head so you can have just all the information uploaded into your brain.
We need the processing power to do that, and that's quantum computing.
Oh no, I want to try with the computer we got now.
Yeah, I want to see the world in pixels.
Man, like VR, I want that, but just upload it into my head.
They actually have where they could inject like 64 by 64 pixels directly into somebody's brain that was blind. They hooked up like a thing, and they could hook up to the side, and they were able to project into their sensory nerves or whatever, so that they could actually see this super tiny screen.
Hey man, we're getting there.
It's like, we're gonna help the blind. You're like, I want my digital porn.
Well, I mean, you had to say it out loud. Oh, never leave the house again. It'll be the end of humanity. It's like,
There's a movie about that.
Like, what happened to humanity? It's like
Humanity.
Humanity. It's like,
what happened to the English language?
They found out how to upload porn directly into their brains, and they're like, oh, that's what happened.
This is a Christian stream. No. Hello, Doodoo. You Duo Cartoonist YouTube channel got axed? No. I usually stay out of some of that.
I did not know that.
Were they actively still using it?
No, they were making stuff
Okay.
at least once a year.
But why did they get axed?
I have no idea. This is the first I'm hearing about it.
There's always a reason.
Could have been Hasbro. But usually
No, they were making a lot. I don't think they were making much pony stuff recently.
Oh, he deleted it.
Oh, he deleted it. Okay. Oh, if that's his choice.
It's unfortunate.
I thought it was like something went wrong type thing.
Well, that's a shame. Why would somebody delete all their art? Like somebody going into a museum and...
Well, that's what yeah, and as far as I know, they were both working for Disney.
Oh, he was?
Yeah,
then it's a little bit more understandable.
But no, that's been for a long time. My first year at BabsCon, I was on a panel with them and Duck, who did some of the audio for them, and ran by Lime Time. And at that point, they said that they were working for Disney. And that was 4 years ago or something like that.
I mean, I personally helped somebody archive this stuff. I'm sure somebody did.
Pony, there's the Pony Archive website.
Yeah. Sometimes the animators can get angry that other people upload their stuff, but I mean,
but really, it's if it's their content, they have the right to do with it as they want.
But
it's like say.
To take it down, it's.
But I don't like the idea of somebody makes something and then people get angry when they take it down, or if they get rid of it and they have a good reason to do it. I mean, even if they're angry, it's still their content.
No, yeah.
But then
I agree that they have all the right in the world. It's just incredibly unfortunate and a little short-sighted, or at least narrow-sighted on there.
But you're looking at it of, I want your content to stay available, but...
Well, I'm looking at it from the perspective of a lot of people want that content to stay available.
But that's fine, but it's still their content.
No, I get that. I completely agree that it's their content. It's just that it does come across a little selfish.
So, because... What if one day I wanted to get away from everything and I didn't want to have the trail?
I mean, you're completely in your right to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that you have that
right. Say I wanted to get rid of the trail and then somebody's like, well, I went and downloaded all your stuff and I'm going to keep it here. Well, then you're not getting rid of it.
Yeah.
So you're sabotaging the person if they're trying to get rid of that stuff.
Again, like I said, you're completely in your right to get rid of it and it's yours. It's just... incredibly unfortunate for everybody else. And if you're not considering everybody else, then that's fine.
Yeah, well, what is with my internet being real slow right now? I'm just gonna reload that. No, like I can't remember the actual time that Copa got my internet must be running slow. Stream's running fine though, so that's all I care about. Unless it's just a high quality audio, switch to the next one. No, here. Oh no, not that one. So yeah, this is my amazing subscriber counts recently. Of and it's...
Remember, it still gets a ton of views.
Okay, yeah. Let's look at how that's changed over time.
Yeah, it's probably gotten less as more people have seen it.
This...
That's a good spike.
November. But this was when it was released. Then it was at only a few thousand, and then I don't know what happened here.
The algorithm changed or something.
I don't know what happened, but then at this point in 2018, it went from 3,000 to averaging 20,000, and
looks like it's back to normal.
Yeah, but it's this isn't the only video that's had that happen. But no, the
like what is it? Dex's Dex had a video. What was it? Well, he had one video that kept getting suggested to me all the time, and it blew up on his channel. He got tons of views on it. I think he did
get that
million. But it was just the algorithm, like.
But yeah, this has been the more recent numbers. So I've been averaging 0, and I think, when did Copa come out? It was like, yeah, this was a purge. I lost 500 that day. But
did you lose 500 and then immediately gain them all back?
No, this is per day change.
Oh, okay.
So this was a loss of 500, and then and so I've been averaging negative. But what I really like is when I make a video.
You made a video and you lost?
I lost. The video itself gained positive, but people realized that I haven't made stuff in a while and aren't a part of the community anymore. So when I made a video, a bunch of people unsubscribed because I had something on their feed. That's my assumption for it.
My assumption is they just forgot you existed, And then when you posted a video, they saw you existed but didn't care anymore. So
yeah, that's why. Every video I put out for the last 4 or 5 videos has had a negative subscriber count the day it was released. It's went back into the positive and it's stayed more positive, so the release will net positive. But if I go far enough back, and I'm trying to see where I can just go to, like subscriber. They change everything on here so often that I don't even know what the hell. I have to click anymore to get places because it's like see more, and then I go there, and then all the stats are different. Oh, so this is subscriber by video. Oh, no, that's still. So yeah, this is I don't care about that subscribers. So okay, line chart daily. Let's go weekly. Let's see, like I don't care, just total. There we go. Is that what I'm looking for? There we go. Okay. And then let's go last year. It's yeah. Copa was I think around. I can't remember. It was in here somewhere, but this purge was annoying. Oh no, Australia. No, Australia's like, down here. Australia only has very little views. Oh, that's just subscriber count. That doesn't matter. No, this video was never popular. It had a lot of views right when it came out, and then since then it's almost had nothing. So, no, it's been like 100 or so a day. It was never popular, and I knew it was never going to be popular. It was a niche video about a fanfic, but I didn't care.
It's probably never going to be finished. Just
no, but I never planned for it to be, and I didn't care. I just wanted to make it. So, and the compliments that have come from it have been enough. Yes.
It had
Eastward.
Could have used more derby.
So yeah, I do want to try to put out a tutorial in the next like 2 weeks and put out another Rathalos compilation in the next couple weeks. I think I just need to make one more was my count. I was trying to match the count of the original. Or yeah, not the original, the first one for content length. Okay, I need to shut off that butt.
Oh, it's the best part of the video.
Look at this. Look at the wobble. You can see it.
You see what you need to do.
And look at this. Look at this wobble. Like it keeps going. There's nothing happening anymore.
What you need to do instead of removing it is add in a sound effect. Just when she goes back, you just add in a wobble wobble.
Here, we'll put it early.
It's gonna just make it like the TARDIS getting ready to take off. No, that's not. That's her just ripping a huge fart.
Hold on. We'll add it. We'll go jitter. And that. Oh, we'll add more. Put that. And then we'll do. So if you want really weird.
Just have an elephant noise. What the? They just wanted they were clapping. Like, yay. Slow clap, 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 clap. That was just weird.
Yeah, so we're going to remove 99% of that wobble.
No, it's stiff butt.
Do you want a little bit more? And like, is that good?
You ruined it, guys.
Wait,
unsubscribe.
They're working on it.
Yeah.
No, I'm. If I smooth it and I remove a bit, I might be able to keep a little bit. Okay, hold on.
If you have her butt wobble, that'll be like 75% of the comments in the video will just be about.
I can still see it. Like
Barry punches butt.
You can still see. Look at the berry, right here. It wobbles.
It does. That one little berry will remind us all.
No, I'm smoothing
The
it.
big wobbly butt. No.
Gotta smooth the butt.
Oh no, the berries don't wobble.
That's gonna be good. Unless you want to have her like at this moment, she just sits down.
This is fires.
Like a perky butt.
No. Plastic surgery gone wrong. Barry, what have you done? Ooh. Oh, don't spread the cheeks.
Let's spin the cheeks. Let's just. This got weird.
What?
Jiggle giggle.
Weird.
Jiggle giggle.
This just now got weird. Before, fine.
It was fine. And then Michael there can't stop not looking at butt.
I mean, it was like the most animated thing in the whole scene.
And then when I got rid of it, you said no.
Well, now I'm looking at the rocket.
It's gone.
Well, now there's the butt. Now I have to look at the butt because there's nothing but butts. Like in this shot, it's just butts.
The butts make up like 4% of the entire screen.
Yeah, but they're the closest thing to the screen. that's her face of disappointment. Hello.
Oh, Skylight.
Hello.
Like Michael's looking at your butt.
Oh, I'm gonna throw out my apple set.
It was 40% high. I don't think I really have to worry too much about a lot of these other details. Maybe her hair here.
Why do I want the mode to just start doing a bouncy dance? Bouncy, 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 bouncy.
Why?
That'd be awesome.
It make no sense.
Why would that be really cute?
Some of these jiggle bones are not behaving. Her tail actually is. Oh, there it goes. Normally, fast motion has it where it lags behind a little bit, and so when it goes up, it actually works pretty good. But when it goes down, it lags a little.
Fine to me.
No, you can see she goes down, and it's staying up. It's locked, and then oh, there it goes. So it's usually just means if it's lagged, you just move it a little sooner. Was that it? Yeah. Maybe one sooner. Nope. Mute. Go back that way. Oh. That might work. She probably actually should have her tail bounce out a little bit. I might have added that, but I feel like it's not strong enough. That should be fine. I still feel like it's supposed to be really, really bright right now, but there's still some harsh shadows underneath them. I don't have any under. Oh no, there it is. It's the underlight. I just need to put another one in there.
Floating pose.
They are. There's no ground underneath them. Don't need it.
Magic. Don't need ground.
So this is across. So if there, no shadows. So I'll make sure I'm getting the right one. Oh, that may be caused by the shadow itself. I think I can do it like this. Maybe not hit my pawn.
I was gonna say it looked too bright now.
Well, I was doing, if you put it really bright, then you can at least see where the light's hitting. And I wanted to make sure it was hitting the areas I wanted it to. Now I can drop it down. Just turn it up just a little bit. Actually, that's not too bad. It's a little too bright on Lyra, though. I think... if I do use that light... Nope, I can't use it on Lyra. I can use it on Berry Punch. If I use it on Lyra, it makes her face too evenly lit. But Berry Punch is the one that needs it. Just offset it a little bit. Just was too dark on her inside of her legs in here with how bright the sun is.
Hello, Brony.
Hello. Do I want to put any other ponies in here? I don't think so.
Derby.
Even me in here is kind of like I'm blending into the buildings.
There's zero derby in this entire view. It's a crime decision. Surprised she didn't put Rainbow Dash in here somewhere.
Why?
If you like that horse.
No, if I use any of the main six, it's usually if I want them for a specific reason. This is just filler pawns. I don't want anybody recognizable like that. I use background pawns as background pawns. I use main six as main six.
Wouldn't it be meta though if you had one of the main six as a background phone? Well, that is that one.
No, it's...
I mean, she's in this, she's a background phone.
But she is in the shot, but she is also very much a focus. I can't just throw Rainbow Dash as a stand-in the background. Because she draws too much attention. But the main six is going to draw too much attention. So I want to throw people in that are going to be balanced in their attention pull.
It'd be so crazy if Gen 5 was just like Lyra and Bomb are the main focus, and you just had freaking Fluttershy in the background. It's a background horse now.
I tend to put... I think I did... with the dragon one... what did I call that again? Oh, it's Lyra Fatality. I thought it was F. Sorry. For color balance, I think I did the same thing here. I had green. Oh, they went to. I thought I had Lyra with her. But I tend to use one purple and then like a yellow or a green to offset because I want them to be opposite colors. I can't remember the reason. Oh, yeah, I think the reason I used Lyra was because they matched in color. So when I was lighting them in the scene, I didn't have to fight it.
Also, she's a cute horse. Look at that.
Oh
yeah, did her face change? It does. It shifts. She's supposed to be in it.
No, because I did I didn't pre-render it.
Yeah.
The flexes in SFM take time to warm up. So when you have like this, when I go to this shot, if I give it a sec, then a lot of this one might actually be there. You can see it. It takes a second for the flexes to kick in. So right now this is instantly when it starts, but if I grab it, then it finishes processing it. So flexes, and that's the eyes and the mouth. Anything with a slider tends to do that, and that gets annoying because it means that anytime I have a shot where something is stationary, it'll have that. The worst guilty video of that is Remembrance. Right here. Her eyes are supposed to be closed the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But when it switches to this shot, her eyes are open for a sec. So if you're watching through, I hate that. It bothers me so much that that's in there. But it was because I didn't pre-render it. I forgot to. And I pre-rendered a crap load of this stuff to fix that. And by pre-render, I mean I have to go into the video, and after it's all rendered, and I have to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, render like that 10 frames, and then replace that frames that were broken with the original. And I have to go through everyone like that.
It's crazy.
It's really annoying. But it's a way to fix it, so.
Everything.
How many things bother me in terms of videos? Like, I could point out tons of stuff. There's some stuff that I did purposefully that doesn't bother me. Like in Remembrance, these flagpoles had a texture error. They're supposed to be gold on these bits and gold on the pole. I just forgot to fix it, and so it ended up being black instead. With this one, Applejack's hat in, I believe this shot is way brighter than it's actually supposed to be, because I still had it with its original glowing values on this one, so it was set to be too bright. I'm trying to remember some of the other ones in this one.
That's right scope.
I did blow it. Where's that shot? Oh, that shot you can see it's too bright too, but that shot I think it's fine. Or was it this shot? There's one of them. It might be this one because it's gold. It's a lot more lit in the back than it's supposed to. But I know in this one, when she goes to turn here, she's already in mid motion when she's turning. But at the beginning of this next shot, she is stationary for a second because I created it as a unique shot from there. So there's this little lag between she starts moving and then the next shot she has like 1 or 2 frames where she's not moving and then starts moving again. That was blended poorly. And I meant to fix that and I forgot to.
This was the first video I watched you animate.
You can actually watch the like cracks actually moving down here, or are not moving with it, because they're just lights, and this was the best way I could do to animate it. So this is a bump map inside here, but all these glowing ones are just lights, which work on everything else, but not in the wing. I knew that was a problem, and I just left it. Spinning particles are based on your frame rate as to where. So when they go from one frame to another, they always make a straight line between it. That's why this looks boxy. I was originally going to actually render this in super slow-mo and to get the full circle with it, but I got lazy and I never did. But it only looks like that because it's at 24 frames a second. If it was at 30, it would actually be a better circle. At 60, it would be a better circle than that. But I was like, whatever. That error is not noticeable anymore, so that's fine. Then there's the eye glitch. I think with this one, I think that's it for stuff that I cared about. Yeah. Bump map. It could be a butt map too. One of the ones that I always love that, oh, not this one, that people didn't catch was, well, this is one that it doesn't really bug me, but it's one thing that I always notice. So in the background here, when I had to merge because it was such a long render, the two different video files, you can see this smoke goes away and then comes back again. And that was because the difference in renders between one and another, because that was about the cutoff point. When I did the render and I blended them, I started the 1 second before the 1 or 2 seconds, something like that, so that I could fade range. That's it for that. This one right here, I always love this because it just shows nobody actually notices that with lighting. This side of her face is dark, and now that's the side that's light.
If you want to know about that light, it's because he's a monster. He's a horrible monster.
Oh yeah, the Burn Derpy's still up there. Oh, because I accidentally opened it up in OBS instead of Streamlabs, so it has some of my old settings. So yeah, it's Burn Derpy. It's because yeah, he's. I will remove it. Only because if I have like
feeling kind today.
If I have like stream highlights at some point to actually get put together, it's just gonna have this random Burn Derpy in the corner.
People are gonna be asking why. Why are you a monster?
I'm trying to remember if there's any other errors in this one. This one, I don't think there actually is many because I spent quite a while trying to ensure it's cleaned up. Oh, she's not a unicorn. Or she is a unicorn.
Well, was she not a unicorn in the book? I can't remember.
No, she is.
She is.
Oops. Oh, actually,
I don't even remember
that's one of the errors that bothers the crap out of me.
I don't remember. Like, if you forgot little Pip was a unicorn, that would have...
So,
like, what?
This is Ember.
Okay. She's cute. That's a butt. That's a butt. Aftershock to butts.
This is also Ember.
Yeah. Oh, wait. So you got an extra appendage there.
I forgot. Because to match the hair, I was using Velvet Remedy's horn model.
Yeah.
And it was just recolored, and I forgot to remove the horn. So somebody actually saw that and was like, wait a second, who's that pony? It can't be Ember. I'm like, oh, god damn it. This also had an interesting shot where the model I'm using for him going down is not the same as the model of him being caught. And that is because when he's falling, his hair, when I had it all set up, is set to go backwards because he's going face first. So for all of these shots, his hair is going backwards. But as soon as he is caught, I actually swapped out the model completely to one where the hair is going forward, so that when his back is facing it, that it matched. And to do Rainbow Dash's hair going the way that she has it, it's actually Daring Do's head that's hidden, and because they're the same hair, reskinned to be Rainbow Dash's hair, but I reversed the red and the yellow, and then swapped that up on top. So she's actually Rainbow Dash is actually bald, and she's using Daring Do's hair. And then for the back hair, it's just the same thing. The city background, you talking this this one? If you're talking that one, then I have to explain how, because it requires anime.
I wasn't pretty impressed how that came together when you finished it.
This was one of the that was one of the first shots I did because I wasn't sure if I could pull out the perspective.
You basically made a small
I'm
box
into it.
you were confined in, looked like a massive sprawling city.
Oh, that was a different shot.
A little bit of camera magic as well?
That was part 2. Yeah. No, so I wasn't sure how to pull this off, so I went and, well, actually I had written up exactly what to do in every shot too. I forgot I did that. So I did this one first, and what I ended up doing was, if you watch the way they do that scene, I tried to do, it's probably going to be stupid.
It's because you're trying to stream.
Yeah.
And you're playing the music.
Yeah, it's probably going to, so it's going to be hard to see even with, but it was, I looked at the shot and I was like, well, how do they portray it? Because they're doing the same thing. They're trying to portray immense distance with 2D software. So I watched, and what it was they had varying levels, like layers of the city, and then they moved at different speeds. So they didn't have to close that so the audio comes back there. So I did the same thing. So when you play it, and when they do it, their further back is moving slower than what's up closer. I decided to do a spin type thing, which means the stuff in the back actually move faster. So this city is models. It is a lot of models, but it's in layers. So when you look at this, it says front group close. I don't know why middle's there, but middle group. Oh no, that was right. So the front group is the one right here. So all the ones that are in front of the character. And then I did in 3 groups after that. So I have close, middle, and back. And the funny thing, and again, it's just from watching anime that I got the idea. The funny thing with this, though, is that the only person in this shot that isn't moving, so right now I'm in the work camera. So I am not moving. So if I zoom in on her, and then I hit play. So she's not actually moving. Everything else is. It was the only way to get it to work, and it, because of how I ended up changing things, it ended up being that she was almost standing still. So if you look in the background here, I'm not sure if the lights make this a little easier. You can see how this is working. So the front one isn't really moving all that much. And then the second one back is moving a little bit more, and the one behind that's moving even more. It depends on the perspective you're going with. Since I was going with a turning camera, you would assume that the things furthest away would move the fastest. If you're doing just a pan sideways, then the stuff in the front would move the fastest. So it just depends on what you're doing. For what I mean by that is, so if you zoom in here, if I turn like, I gotta get. I'll go down like this. So if I turn like this, you're noticing, or if I want to stay with something in view right here, if I turn, you're going to see the stuff in the back is going to move the fastest. But if I just move sideways, the stuff in the back moves the slowest. So it just depends on which direction you're going. In the video, in the anime, it was about going sideways, but because I'm a lot closer to her than they were, because they were much further from her in the building, I wouldn't be able to get that same type of look, and I wanted it to be more drastic. So I did it this way. And the reason I use models and not some kind of 2D texture was because I could then still light these and make it feel 3-dimensional. And even these models in the front are moving opposite the other direction to, again, give that feeling that the whole thing is spinning.
was impressive.
That, and I put a couple things in here just to add some kind of a wind effect so that it didn't all feel dead and stationary. I think there's more than one. Where's the other one? But so yeah, everything is just moving with her or around her, which is kind of trippy when you're just watching it like that. Then, but yeah. And plus, the other reason too is as this is going, if I remember right, the light itself is also shifting and moving. And to get that lighting effect, all I did was I shined like a bright light in that area and then another wider one that was not as bright to kind of give a distance effect. And then I just used one of these like God beams over it. And that was, again, to create dimension. So because they're moving at different speeds, it just helped give that false sense of distance. And so I thought that actually did a pretty good job of giving that feeling of super far. This shot, I think I did the same thing. It's just not as strong. And that shot's just a false slow-mo. This one, if I remember right, had an interesting bit because when the camera goes over here, there's a crossover, the sky domes. So there's this little moment right here where the sky domes actually cross, but because of the motion blur, they kind of just blend together anyway. So I just left it. I thought nobody's going to notice it anyway. That's in the armor he's wearing right now is kind of shitty put together, but it's from Elder Scrolls, and he's supposed to have a dragon helmet, so that's why I put that down next to him too. This camera shot alone, this movement of it, I should have done it different because I was fighting the hell out of that camera. Here's another one that is messing with things. So the original shot was fisheye, so I just built it to be a fisheye. It is not actually a fisheye, so all the clouds are actually animated to go in an arc. This is probably my favorite shot out of the whole thing. And the pony doing her little bounding thing is stealing from Little Pip running out of the vault. The land is just loaded land. It's just models. So I just took multiple versions of the land and just stacked them up in an arc. And then I only put grass as far as needed. So once the depth of field kicked in for it, I just stopped putting grass because there's no point. Or I stopped putting detailed grass. I put some of these, well, that's the detailed grass there, but some of these just larger patches that they're not 3D, they're just 2D versions, and just put those instead. But I really like how that shot turned out. Or even just this, where's the, this, I didn't, I guess, have it in the shot, but, I might have done it in post. The camera actually zooms in there.
That looks like Derpy's hair.
This actually has an error in it. It's gonna look fine in this, I think. Kind of. But in the actual final video, the trees didn't keep up, so they're floating. The particle was supposed to follow with it, because the trees were loaded by particle, but to give, again, the false sense of distance, the background moves with her. and that is only because if they were actually that close, they would act differently for that. So like when the camera's coming down, it would look less like it was moving, so I had to move it to counter the camera's motion to make it feel like it was farther away. Yeah, I only did the tree particle there because I was getting towards the end of the video and I was just trying to get it done. And it's barely noticeable, so whatever. I do not like this shot. One of them because his eye at this distance, because I didn't know how to fix the error until after I made this video, was glitched. Doing its little see-through thing, and in the final it ended up blending to where it looks like a semi-transparent eye, and I don't like that. And I think this one is Derpy.
Yeah, I knew one of them looked like Derpy. It had her eyes, the red one.
And these are all based on actual people. So this is Grassy Fields,
That's Derpy.
Brisk Run.
I can feel the Derpy.
Nope, it's Lyra.
No, that one. That one's Derpy.
This one?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe that one might be.
I
That
can
one's
tell.
shiny.
Because you didn't change your eyes. Yep.
Oh, is it?
You can't hide a Derpy on me. Come on. It's Derpy. That's Derpy's face and hair.
It's not her eyes.
Yes, it is. It's Derpy's eye color.
No, this shot I never really liked that much. I felt like it was too expansive, and but it did what it needed to.
I do have a Derpy jacket.
This one, to get the main to work, this is actually a whole bunch of... Where are they?
I remember you being quite proud of how I got this main to work.
I didn't think it was gonna work.
I also remember you making Rainbow Dash jump off this balcony several times.
Yeah. In here somewhere, there is a bunch of Rainbow Dashes. So it's Rainbow Dash's EQG model, and it's like 3 versions of the hair that I just recolored to be off-white, because I felt that no matter what I did to Celestia's mane, it still was Celestia. And being that Molestia is based on the colors of that anyway, I decided that I needed something different. So I went with that. So there's two versions of her hair behind that are just overlapped. One that's back here just to fill the back of the head, and then another smaller one right there. And then I believe it's just one for her tail. No, there's 2. But I was pleasantly surprised with how that turned out, but it would not work from any other angle. Nope.
Hair bun.
Yeah, it looks like shit from here.
Yeah, you can see your face. It's covered in hair. Also, her tail's really weird.
Because I just needed because the tail was flipping behind, and that was fine, but I needed some kind of a bulb on the back, so I just threw some random one there.
I can tell. I get it. You can't tell.
This is also one of my favorite shots. There's just something about it. The slight head tilt, the whole background city. I think even so, like, all these clouds are models, so this whole sky is set to just be alive and moving. So I was really proud of that one, and the whole cape moving, and that was a cool shot. Is there any other like unique shots in here? Like, yeah, so if you can tell it better here with the sky, it's just kind of.
I also remember you putting Derpy into the scene where she's fighting these dragon things, these wyverns or whatever they are.
No, that's not Derpy.
No, but you traded out Rainbow Dash for Derpy, and I got to watch Derpy fight the wyverns. I remember. It was magical.
Oh yeah, that's one shot that I can show you how I did.
Derpy was the best fighter.
So a lot of these shots were so intensive for unique models that I was running out of memory very very quickly. So I early on had to break it into 4 pieces so that each one could just do its own thing, but it made it harder to preview. Kind of. It just depends on the model, but I go through the same process for the cape as I would there anything else. Going through just the same wobbly bits, but that the cape was difficult because it didn't work quite right on how stuff was boned, so it was really annoying. I can't remember the details, but I remember it being frustrating. This whole fight scene is just her in an alleyway. I still not a huge fan of this just because I feel like it's too metronome. Where it's boom, 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 boom. But nonetheless, I still think it turned out pretty good. I think the camera could have been done a little better. But that land animation is a reused bit from a video I never finished. So it's recycled animation. This one. So he is. So I'm going now locking the camera. So all this ground is I built an entire scene build of an area in SFM. Filling the entire bottom end area. Then I went up high like this and took a screenshot of it, and then took that screenshot and applied it as a texture with bump maps to a flat texture so that it doesn't actually have anything. But I made sure that by going up high, so this would be the center point, all the buildings, at least within a close distance, all still look out. But if you get to a certain point where they stop looking in and they start looking the other direction again. But I didn't care because at this point, this is what you're seeing when you're falling. And then I added the bump map to it because the bump map allowed it to feel like it's taking in the lighting around it. That's the extreme bit of it, but it helps on all the different little angles. So, oh yeah, there you can see that. But no, so for him, it's again, motion works 2 ways. You can either have motion where you are moving the camera, or the camera is within the environment, or that the environment is within the camera in a way. So in this case, he's not moving. I'm just trying to make everything else perceive like it is. So this whole time, he's just kind of sitting still. But when he's falling, these dragons that are down there, I am scaling them up. So as this one is getting closer to him, it's not that it's actually getting any closer to him. It's that he's just getting bigger.
So did the pony really fight dragons while free falling before Rainbow Dash caught them?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Him looking pleadingly at her while he has the only sword left of his. Well, he normally had a lot because he had to drop his armor for weight, and so he pleads at her, and so she just drops him, and he does a bunch of murder before she catches him. And
because he really wanted to murder the dragons.
Because their city is underground right here,
yeah.
And it was being assaulted because they finally figured out where they are. So he was like, I need to do something. So he goes and does a bunch of murder stuff. Then she grabs him, and she has this little pendant that she can activate that basically makes her a ball of invincible for a very short period. She only can use it every now and then. And so she just goes Sonic Rainboom and hits it before hitting the ground, and just pounds all the way through the ground back to into the city. Just straight through it. Which is kind of cool. So she's right now, that's the intent, is that right now she's heading on her way down to do that.
Rainbow Dash is OP.
I think even in the video here, was her pendant start glowing? Yeah, I think her pendant was glowing here because that's what she's prepping to do. Also, there's only a couple dragons on here to save memory.
Yeah.
So, well, there's more shown. So, as the camera changes, I just keep moving the same dragons into the camera shot. So it's just the same few. And then it's somewhere around here where I brought up Samrose. So I have phase 1 and phase 2. So this is phase 2. Or no, this is phase 1. Where are you? There's just a sword attacking there. Oh, and then this is with Daring Do's head eye not hidden, so I'm not sure what was broken with him, but it's fine. But yeah, so this is just perceived to be a big city, and I just used lighting and everything to kind of hide the outer rim, and then to prevent it from being a flat line, I threw mountains in there every now and then. I'm not 100% happy with it, but I'm not disappointed with it either. That's all that was in that one, because this one just had a lot of shit in it. There's nothing really special in that one. Minor details, there's children that were dropped in this pit to be killed, and so that's why there's skeletons everywhere.
No! I never noticed the skeletons.
He dropped them in the pit because his idea was that this spire, which originally was powering the town, had secluded itself, and so he was throwing children in the pit in hopes that it would be the sacrifices needed to science. So
science needs sacrifice, literally.
Ciderfice?
Sacrifice.
Ciderfice.
Ciderfice.
The sandstorm looking particle? Are you talking like the smoke coming up?
The haze.
Well, the haze is just a volumetric light.
Yeah.
I think because like the haze, I think is just I made a ring texture as a gobo so that it was just a light that would not exclude the middle, and that's just what I made it to be because I don't want it volumetrics on there. And I think for that, it's literally, I think I may even made it myself. It's just a particle that's set to go upwards that has a cloud effect. Those are easy to do. And then for the effect too, I had to put some kind of swing. I think that's from Dota.
I kind of want to
Attack of the Swords.
But the fact that it's probably never going to be finished.
It doesn't. You could go through the first 6 books and stop, and you'd be fine. Or it's like something like that, because it ends where technically the book could end there. Everything gets restarted to a degree, but the rest of it after that is also really good. So then you could go until the end. If you stopped before the end. Or before starting the current new book, you'd be fine.
What is that movie?
It's only 4 million words.
What is that movie where the woman like kidnaps the author and forces him to write and breaks his kneecaps? What is that movie?
Michael's Wet Dream.
That's a little
about MLP.
We could do that. We could find the author of the book.
I'll open this one and putz around a little bit, but otherwise I'm going over time here. So, this is just a fade. This one had a lot of fades. So this just says fade right, fade left, and that's because there's this meant to pre-render before both, and just all the animation is copy pasted between them. And that's just rock models loaded. There's nothing really special about that.
Misery. Thank you. We could do it.
Something might be broken in this shot. As soon as I answered it, it's not working. Oh, I know exactly what it is. The wheat. So yeah, that's actually going to crash me. There's a problem with the wheat model, and I have to delete it whenever I want to go in that shot. I had that problem when I was even going to render it, I believe, and I had to fix it Yeah, it says hashtag animate the. It's going to say animate the. Yeah, animate the wheat. It says it right there. Because the wheat was broken and only would stay animated when, at the time of keeping SFM open. So when I had to go animate the wheat and then render it immediately. That was annoying. But yeah, that's going to crash. So I'm not going to bother reopening again. So, anyways, there's some behind the scenes stuff for that video. Is there anything? Yeah, so it was this wheat. It's very subtle, but it looked weird if it wasn't moving. And this is that fade. So like small little details, like that is actually an item that he uses to talk to Rainbow Dash when she leaves. She doesn't have her horn in that shot. The only reason I don't really like this shot is because of the motion blur. It feels like she's never in focus. And I feel also that he wasn't in shot long, but in the actual final, that's the way it was too. That shot is a bunch of clouds coming over a reflected map surface, and then a lot of post work to bump up the coloration and stuff. That one, I do not. That is not what he actually looks like. That's about the closest representation I could get. He is supposed to have a metal jaw,
Yeah,
but he was.
a metal jaw.
But and that was just. I took copy pasted the same model, and I just removed the jaw in one, and then slid the other one in with only the jaw, and then just added it to make it look metal.
It does look metal.
Yeah. That shot's nothing funny or special. That's just a bunch of loaded models like the other one. It was this shot and goofing around with these clouds that led to Lyra Fatale.
Mm-hmm.
That book's like chapter 1.
I remember what led to Lyra Fatale. We were all just talking about what if the dragons were just a bunch of crackles. Or whatever.
Yeah, we made that video in an abridged, quick fashion, and then it was, I think, it was even you that you're like, make it a video, and I was like, okay.
And you actually did.
Yeah. This is a big reference to the thing too, but if you haven't read the book, it's spoilery, but by seeing it alone, there's not. L Train actually found this video, and he's a brony. I didn't realize that. But yeah. And there's nothing really special in these shots either. Though this one, I think I do play with the ground moving and everything to give the perception of distance a little bit more.
I remember you animating all that grass and me thinking it was insane.
No, you don't animate all the grass. You animate one grass. And then you copy paste all of it, and then you select it in segments, and you delay it slightly so that it looks like the wind's coming across it in waves. And I've gotten better at that over time too. There's just loaded models. Yeah, so after that, it's just
working on that cabin forever.
Yeah, but I like the way it turned out. The cabin, the chapter's name is Cabin, and it is one of the most iconic chapters in the book. And nobody knows some of the details because there's initials that were carved into that building, and I don't think anybody's figured out what they mean yet.
What were the initials?
I can't remember. It was like EE and EG or something like that. But this is way out past Equestria already.
It could just be initials of whoever on the place. Might not have any meaning past whoever left them there.
But you don't. It feels weird to put initials and not. So, and there had been people that had at one point traveled out past there, but just not many. So there's a reference.
The cabin.
Read the book.
I can't. That hasn't finished yet.
It never will. But to me, if somebody were to tell me. Or ask if I regretted reading it. No, I still think it's worth reading even if it's not done. Just don't start the current book then, because it has a really good endpoint. As long as just leave it at that. It ends super good in the last book. The last book is so good. Anyways, yes, hello Humble Mirage. We're actually ending though. So, anyways. Like I said earlier, I will not be streaming Friday and probably not the following Tuesday either. So.
Huh? They'll be sleepy.
Yeah, probably. I have to work 10 hours every day next week too. And I have to work my off Friday.
I don't envy you.
I know. Who works 10 hours?
I
If you ever have questions or something, the point of the stream isn't just for me to work on stuff. That's just secondary. So it's to answer questions. So if you have any questions or you're curious about something or want me to open up a previous video, as long as I can open it up, just let me know. I have no problem doing it. So
does this mean you'll start taking my questions?
No.
Oh.
Because you're just going to be like, hey, where's Derpy?
Oh, yeah.
And so no.
Why isn't she getting booped?
Yeah, the stream's done. I ended at 8 on Tuesdays because I work later. So yeah, sorry. Actually, I'm over. So, but I will be back like in a week and a half then. So, but thanks for coming by. Hope to see you again.
Yay.
So, okay, have Kitty.
Yay.
And I'll see y'all later.
Yeah. I'm gonna take my processing.
You go process.
My baby process.
My baby.